Hey everybody, welcome to the Hockey Pool. I'm Andrew. I'm going to take you through all the new features in live draft this year. There's a lot of them, so let's get started so we can get through them all. Okay, going to share this window, open it up. All right, here is thehockeypool.com. So not presumably, you must have gone here first as administrator and created your pool, either created it or logged into a previous season's login and switched it to the current season, the playoffs. For 26 at this time, if it's different in the future, you know the season that you're in currently. So that all looks good. So this is where you're going to send your poolies here is to thehockeypool.com. You as administrator will have already gotten your password and gotten logged in and got all set up here. I have created a pool login testy test. I have got five poolies drafting five players each. I'm happy with that. And the playoff season is selected for this season. So at some point, I'll want to configure point scoring charts and trash talk, etc. But for now, I just want to get my poolies have drafting their players. So I'm going to click on Live Draft. Very first thing you see here is Snake versus ladder order. Snake is, if you have five players, 1 to 5, 5 to 1, 1 to 5. It makes it a little bit more balanced for the person who drafts fifth. It doesn't make the first draft as valuable. Ladder order, where you go 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 1 to 5, makes it a lot more advantageous to get a higher number. So that evens it out. Here you can change the number of poolie teams. So if someone shows up late and wants to join, or someone doesn't show up and you need to diminish it, you can do that. You can do the same thing with the number of players drafted per team. Auto selection. This is pretty cool. So this year, if you enable this, only if you enable this, by default, after 90 seconds, one of the top undrafted players currently at the top of your list, by default it's 7, one of the top 7 will be picked at random and assigned to that person that couldn't make their mind up within 90 seconds. There's always one person in the pool, struggles and struggles. This kind of is a way to get you moving. I'm going to turn up the heat here. 30 seconds is really quick. I wouldn't recommend using that in general. But I want it to auto select some players while we go through this draft so you can actually see it happening. Next up is your team names. And I'm just going to enter a few obvious names here using an algorithm for naming. I don't think you're ever going to figure out. It's really tricky. Okay, it's just alphabetical. I know you know that. You can see that. So there, I've created a bunch of names. And you can start your live draft right now, but I'm going to hold off for just a second. I want to show you the user experience. So over here, your poolie is going to come here and you're going to say, hey, join your live draft. And they're going to do that. And you're going to say, hey, the login is testy test. Great. And they're going to enter that. And it's going to say, hey, great, we found the pool. It's configuring right now. Enter your email address so that we know who you are. We can tell the administrator what your email address is, and then we can assign you to a pool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, my name is EEE at eee.eee. Now, here's a little secret. You don't actually have to put a real email address in here. We will never email it. What we're just trying to do is make sure there's a way for you to identify you as you when you talk to the administrator. It does have to be in the form of an email address, so it has to have the at and letters not letters. Other than that, keep it clean. And I'm going to pick a really bad password here because I know that this email address does not yet have an account. So I picked a really horrible email address or a password. I mean, don't use that. It's going to complain once I try to actually create an account with this password. And that'll be just Google saying, that's not a very good password. That's been found in a data breach. And yeah, there it goes. But anyways, we're using it because this isn't very dear to me. And now we see we're logged in as this person. And we're waiting for the administrator to start the pool. You know the playoff predictor if you've used the hockey pool before. It is a very helpful tool. So let's actually do that. Let's go through and make our picks this year. These aren't the final season matchups. This is before the end of the season. So just a little note up there that says, hey, use it with a grain of salt. This might not be the teams that match up. Also this year, we've added community picks. So anytime the Carolina and Ottawa has been shown in the playoff predictor in the first round as a matchup, the community has voted for one of them, meaning everyone who's used the predictor in the past has used one of them. So you can use that as a hint. Are those people right? Do you have a better insight? Well, you've got a little bit of a little bit of help if you'd like it. I'm just going to, and of course, you can, the better you predict it here, you can pick, the number of games that the series is going to go. I'm not going to spend much time doing that because I just want to get through the predictor here. And we're going to say Erica likes Montreal over Tampa, and Smith first round picks, and then they like Carolina in the second round, Colorado. They also like Montreal here. They like Dallas here. Okay, and then finally Carolina, Colorado, and Colorado wins. And then you get your final picks. Again, just like in previous years, you get the predicted top scores based on how many games you think each team is going to play. It also has a little warning in orange here because we're using the points per game in the regular season. If someone played like one game, like Alex here, and got 1 point, they're going to be ranked a little bit too high because they might not play in the playoffs. In fact, they probably won't. But if they do and they get that kind of point output, then maybe picking them second is actually great if Colorado's going to go all the way. Anyways, it's a warning, so you can see that that is happening. Also, players in yellow are injured. You can hover over them to see that. And players that are both injured and have only played a few games will also, where was it? I thought this again was here. Oh, maybe they're not listed as injured anymore. Anyways, it will show both. It will both show few games. Here we go. Carter, few games and injured. And way down at the bottom here, you get your predicted top goalies as well. If your a pool drafts goalies, it is based on wins with 2 points and shutouts worth 3 points. So you can use that in your pool if you need it, and if you don't, you're golden. And then we go back up here. We've done all that. We've got our thing. Let's go back and join our live draft. So we're logged in there. We're now saying join the draft, and it's going to say, hey, your email isn't in the list right now. So we're waiting for the draft to be configured and the draft to start. So let's go back here. You'll see that there are email addresses over here for everyone. Don't worry about it. You don't have to fill them in. You don't have to use it at all if you don't want to. But if you happen to know, Erica is online in a window and wants to make drafts, you can paste in the email address that she used. And I'm just going to make sure that really was it. No, that was a different email address. Let me copy that. There we go. She was actually using this email address. And additionally, when you're setting up these names, a lot of people will draw cards or do any random way to set up an order of drafting. You can totally type in that order that you've selected, or you can use this randomized team order thing. And what it's going to do is let you do it just once, and then it will reorder the draft picks. It only lets you do it once because you can't just as administrator hit it again and again to make sure you're the first draft overall. Hey, good luck. My name's Andrew. I got the first draft overall. I was lucky enough for it to stay in the same place. It seems to only randomly have done that. That can happen in a random number generator. Anyways, there you go. I'm now going to start the live draft. It's going to confirm. That's going to lock everything in. All right. So if I hover over Erica here, I can see that EE at EEE.EEE has been approved, and that's her account. And we can go over to her and we can see that she's looking at the same thing, and she's seeing that Connor McDavid is going to be selected for Andrew in 13 seconds. And we can see over here now 10 seconds, but it's counting down. And that's going to happen. I'm going to let that happen, and then we're going to go to another way you can authenticate users. All right, it picked Connor McDavid, and we see that over here too. Connor McDavid picked. All right, there's a pending join request. So someone else who I didn't type into the create panel is into the configure panel before is trying to join. So they've gone to live draft, they've typed in their email address, and they said join. So I'll go have a look here. It's like, oh, Denny is joining. Yeah, that's Team Dennis. So I'm going to approve that and close that. Let's just make sure. Oh, no, it didn't quite work. There's Denny and approve. And this is the third way that I can approve now. If I go up here and I go to the assign panel as administrator, it's going to say, hey, there's a few teams that don't have anyone associated with them yet. Now, the best way is for that poolie to type it into the live draft page and ask to join, and then you'll get that little notice at the top of the screen. But if they're not around, the administrator can draft for them, or you can just say, hey, for Team Andrew, I'm going to tell them that you just heard a bing. And what that means is it's Erica's draft turn. So on her page, it binged at her. I hope you heard that. I heard that to say, hey, it's your turn to pick. So she's going to pick Nathan. And there we go. And then we're back to the administrator here. So yes, you can just click the draft button next to any name here. You can also, if you want to, you can type in uh, um, a name and then select that name to draft that player. Or if you're saying, oh, I know I want to draft someone from Buffalo, you can open up the best undrafted players on Buffalo, including the goalies, including the team, and you can click the little draft button next to that player's name, and you will draft that player. So that's another way to go. Erica's just beeped again. Again, don't know if you heard that, but I did hear that. So going back over to Erica's draft thing, she also actually everyone has this. They can show any available goalies. They can show um, any available defensemen. They can show any available teams if you guys draft goaltending teams, or if you don't want to, they're hidden by default. They can also show from your predict playoffs list, um, from the predictor, they can show your list there and they can show you who's been drafted from that list. And you'll just notice that Kyle Connor was at the top of that list and just got drafted by Erica with the auto select up there. And she no longer has editability. She can't draft anymore because it's no longer her term. It's Carla's term. So coming back here, as I said, you can just go through and very quickly find the player. If you can't find the player in the list and you want to type them in quickly, you can just type a few letters of their name. If you want to see everyone on Montreal, oh, it won't do that. Is it Montreal? There it is. Everyone on the Montreal Canadiens, you can just type in Mon. Is that right? Oh no, it doesn't do that. Sorry, it used to do that. You can't do that anymore. But you can type in a few letters of their name, and it can be the first or last name, and you can find all the Jasons that you want to draft or not. And again, the full injury list is down here if you want to read it. Injuries do appear as you hover over. I'm just going to quickly finish this draft to show you what happens at the end. And you can certainly draft injured players if you want. I'm just going to quickly do that. And you can see that it's very fast, that this is keeping up with it almost in real time. There is up to a 2-second delay because of the interwebs, but it's fairly quick. And there we go. And it's Erica's turn again, but I'm just going to blast through it. Boom. The administrator will come to this page after the draft is complete, which will say, hey, record a tiebreaker for your pool. I encourage you to record a tiebreaker because it's so common for people to get to this point in, at the end of their season and suddenly two players are tied for overall and they mail me saying, hey, what do you do to break up a tie? And I'm like, whatever you want to do to break up a tie. My pool uses most goals, but you can do whatever you'd like over here and say that that's what you're doing. So longest burp. There you go. There's my tiebreaker. It'll save that. It will now redirect the administrator back to this page. If you want to change the tiebreaker, it's recorded here on the initialize and edit pool page. So you can always go back and change it later, although you shouldn't. And it doesn't quite appear on the daily stats page, but it will very shortly. Meanwhile, if you were a person drafting in the pool, you will be directed to the pool page. And as you can see, it's preseason yet, so there's no games played yet, but you can see everybody who got drafted in the pool. And hey, isn't that the video you're watching right now? Listen, good luck in your pool. We want to make your hockey pool the hockey pool. If you have comments, concerns, suggestions, questions, shoot them at us. You got the contact link right there.